G'day and welcome to the Voyage. 2024 has been an outstanding year for the Princess Yachts Australia team, and in this ep we'll reflect on the year that was and take a look at brokerage boats on offer for immediate summer boating. So Greg, it's been a huge year for the Princess Yachts brand here in Australia. Let's start with your annual trip to Düsseldorf and the boat show there. What trends were you noticing with Princess internationally while you were there in January?
So, amazing show in the middle of winter inside. Princess had an 8-boat display from boats from 40 up to the X95. So it's the first time I got to see the X95 at a show, and they also had the X80, the Y85, the Y72, the S72. So really good range. What we're seeing is the finishes and the level and the quality is getting better and better every year with Princess.
From there, in January, March arrived very quickly. You started construction on your new premises. Why the move?
Well, we've been looking at trying to move premises for some time, and we've actually outgrown where we were. And you've got to remember that was at a temporary premise that we built in 2019. So we moved to the new premise in May, just before Boat Show. But in the background, it's been going on negotiating for some time, and we love Sanctuary Cove, and the new office overlooks our boats, and it's designed to open up for functions and even just have a cold drink on a Friday afternoon.
Well, you can see it over your left shoulder there. In fact, you spent a bit of money on the stainless bar out the front, haven't you?
Yeah, well, we sort of looked at that rail there and said there's got to be a better opportunity for this rail than just a piece of stainless.
In terms of facilities for clients, how has that changed the business for you?
It has, because we're Sanctuary Cove Marina now. We've taken over some more berths so we can have some of our bigger brokerage boats on I-arm rather than H-arm, so they're not blocking the view of the rest of the boats from our office.
Sanctuary Cove Boat Show was next on the calendar this year, and the new premises got its official opening.
Yeah, we had a bit of a shindig for the boat show, which we do every year, but the opening of the new office, it was a great event. We had some fantastic partners at that event with Bentley Motor Cars and Peroni Beer and Verve Clicquot. So, and then Mary and Ben from June put all the beautiful furniture in. So it was a really nice night. And that Owners Lounge was open for the whole weekend for all our Princess owners. How was the 2024 Skid show, the Sanctuary Cove International Boat Show? Because times have been a bit tough. Economically, things have been a bit hard this year, particularly the first couple of quarters. How did it fare? It was a great show. We had 8 boats on display, so it was our biggest show ever. And those boats are getting bigger as well. So our biggest boat we had this year was a Y72, and down to the little V40. Yeah, well, it seems that Princess being based here and with the stand that you have now, you seem to have almost taken over the Sanctuary Cove Boat Show. Is that how it feels? Yeah, it feels like that, because these are our permanent berths. So, we had 8 boats here, and mainly because this is our home, and we've got our new office right behind us. So, from there, it was a smaller footprint in Sydney this year, but a successful show all the same. It was. Yeah, we were surprised with Sydney. We took one boat. We just thought we'd go down and fly the flag, and we had some clients from Sydney that actually, after the boat show, flew to England and went to the factory and sea trolled an F35 and ended up buying one. So it ended up being a good show for us. In mid-August, 16 boats departed the Gold Coast for the annual trip north. Different for you this year, as you had Renee and the kids on. I did. So last year, Renee said, we're doing it next year, and we've got some friends that have got a 55, and their children are the same age as ours. So we ended up taking our family, and they took their family, and we took quite a while getting up the coast this year, and we stopped in some beautiful places, and the kids really enjoyed it. And even I was talking to the headmaster of the school the other day, and he said your kids would have learnt more in that time than they would have had at school. One of the great things about that trip is you've come to know the Queensland coastline so well. You're learning lots about other nooks and crannies that you can go and visit. So it's really turning into something of a great trip, this trip north, isn't it? It is. I mean, we did the trip south last year, and we took about 10 days and stopped in some places that we hadn't been before. And I took the family this year, and we stopped in at Middle Percy. It's just beautiful. They've got the big creek that runs up there, and what do they call it? The Hilton there, and it's a great spot to visit.
Trip seems to be a good way for owners and their families to not only become friends, but we've also seen a number of vessels changing hands amongst the cohort. How is this happening on this trip?
Well, you've got to imagine you're tied up in a marina in Yeppoon or Bundaberg, and you're hopping on someone else's boat to have a drink or a cocktail or something to eat, and you start looking at their boat and you start talking, and next thing you know, you bought yourself a new boat. And this year we had one of our clients come out of 52 into a 55, and we've also sold that 52 as well in the last couple of weeks. So it's a matter of they're seeing what is out there, and then what other people have done with their boats to customise them for the way they use them. It also shows what the bigger boat, what's the capability of a bigger boat, and you can have more friends or different types of situations on board.
The Hayman Island Rendezvous is the next Princess event on the calendar annually, and this year's was exceptional. Do you agree?
It was fantastic this year. We've made a few changes this year. We had a bit more relaxed, less formal dinners, and more, we had a little cocktail party with different food stations, and we had a few games nights as well, and the customers loved it. They just said it's the best one ever.
One of the signature event, it must be the lunch on Whitehaven. Tell us about that.
Oh, Whitehaven Beach lunch is amazing. So we all leave Hayman about 9 in the morning. We travel up in formation, go through the Dent Passage, and then we get up to Whitehaven, drop the anchor, and Fish Divine have got all the marquee set up on the beach, and freshly shucked oysters and sashimi and a glass of Veuve Clicquot Rich. So yeah, it's great. And then we have this big long lunch, and then we get a few water toys out. And this year there was a bit of adventure, I can say, and but you can tell our owners are very competitive.
That's for sure. How do you get to go to an event like that? It's a week-long event in Hayman, all of these beautiful lunches and dinners and things. Obviously, you've got to buy yourself a boat, and people are clamoring to do it, are they not?
It's quite interesting. Obviously, it's a princess owners event, so you have to own a princess. And we've got some clients that have ordered a princess, but it hasn't arrived yet, so they can come because they have ownership. And we get people at boat shows that look at the videos that we've got, and they say, well, how do I do that? And we said, well, it's quite simple. There's a boat coming through, you can own it.
And is it true that, without naming names, there are 1 or 2 yards where people have said, oh, I've got to put my name down if I can go and do that?
100%. Yeah, it's quite amazing. It's sort of one of those events that, other people do it. We do it a bit differently. We call it family, friends, and the finer things, because it's very high end, but it involves the family. And like this year, we had 19 children under 10. So that's what boating's about, is family.
Since the fleet's return from Whitehaven, a number of new vessels have been ordered, and that in turn has meant some incredible brokerage boats have become available. Let's now take a look at a few of them, starting with Seventh Heaven. And the best way to do that is to take it for a run to Wavebreak Island with Scott Davis from Princess at the helm. So Scott, what makes Seventh Heaven such a unique buy?
Great boat, 88 foot. This owner is this is his 7th Princess, so he's a very experienced owner. So he ordered this boat in 2016. It turned up in 2017, but because he was so experienced, he ordered it exactly how he wanted it, and very custom, and loads amount of options.
So tell me about some of those options. What makes this such a good buy?
So it's powered by C32 Caterpillars, which is the most desirable engines in this style of boat. It's about 1700 horsepower each. It's got fin track, which is an American system, fin stabilisation. So when you're running along in the ocean underway, they stabilise, but they've also got at-rest stabilisation. So when you're anchored, the boat sits in the water like a 100-footer, basically. Other options: twin anchors, enclosed flybridge, spar, davit up on the flybridge, big tender, hydraulic swing platform, 4-cabin boat, plus a twin crew which can sled 4 people, twin cabins. So really highly option boat.
Very well cared for too, and berthed here at Century Cove for a number of years.
Yes, I've spent a bit of time in Melbourne, a little bit of time in the Whitsundays, but majority of time on the Gold Coast. Meticulously maintained. So it's basically had a full-time captain since brand new. It's also had some crew and detailing crew on it all the time, so I don't think you'd find a more loved boat. This one really had the love from you.
The other vessel on the wave break run with us today is this S65. What a beautiful example of the build she is, as Greg explains.
So she's a local boat, Gold Coast, 2017, very low hours. It's only done 180 hours. Most of the running has been around the Broadwater, and then the furthest north it's been is Brisbane. So, low hours, immaculately finished, and very well maintained. So it's a great buy for someone.
And it does say that this 65-foot is a very popular size now for people, particularly here in Australia.
It is. The difference between what's happening with the 60s and the 65s is the 65 is a 4-cabin boat. So you get a bunk room as well, so a bit more accommodation to get an extra bathroom, and it's just a bit more real estate.
One of the other boats sitting here on the dock, ready for a new owner before Christmas, is Latitude, the V57. Tell us a bit about her.
So she's a 2013. She's done a few trips up north with us now. I think this year was its 3rd trip up to the Whitsundays. Volvo powered. It's just a beautiful boat. The one thing with the V-Class is you get the big sun pad on the back, you get the tender garage, so you can have a jet ski on your platform as well, and the massive big sunroof. So it's sort of, even though it's an enclosed boat, you can open up the sunroof and open up the back doors and get the breeze through. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish our owners and their families a great festive season, and we hope to see you all out on the water.
If you'd like any further information on any of the boats that you've seen on the voyage today, or any of the boats in the entire Princess Yachts fleet, then get in touch with Greg and the team at Princess Yachts Australia at Sanctuary Cove. See you next time on The Voyage.